Hi guys, how have you been? My name is Rispa Nyabate for those who don't know me. I'm always glad to share. This has been a new venture and I'm loving it so far. I hope it can only get better. So yeah, if this is your first time, please subscribe, like, share the videos that I've already shot. Feel free to go back and watch them. Some Most of them are very detailed. If you want to know more about me, you'll get to know more about me and my the current things that I'm doing. Yeah, so welcome, and I hope you'll be a returning subscriber. And if it's the first time, I hope you'll subscribe. Yeah, so like I said, my name is Rispa Nabate, and today this video is it's a very sensitive topic for me. It's something I don't like to talk about, but I know that the situation I went through could be worse for other people. So I feel like of all the times, this is the best time to share and just to encourage people to please make sure you always go for checkups. You always take your health seriously. If you feel something is wrong in your body, please don't ignore it, especially if it's something that might be chronic depending on the symptoms. Please do not ignore it. Go do checkup, do something. Just don't just sit there and wait for years. So I don't know if everyone knows, but this month, the month of October, is usually a month where there's so much sensitization on breast cancer. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, of course, it involves women and even men. As long as you have breasts, you were created with breasts, which of course we were, you're prone to get breast cancer. And I'm not saying you will, I'm just saying some of these things they're not planned for. Anything can happen. And that is why first we have to live a very healthy life and make the right decisions in terms of what we eat, what we do, how we just how we live our lives in general. Make sure you try and live a very healthy lifestyle. It matters a lot because it might cause a lot of damage in the future. You never know. Things like smoking, drinking a lot of alcohol, taking processed foods, taking a lot of red meat or even meat in general, using chemicals on your body. All these things can cause a lot of damage to your body. So please put your health first and make sure to check with your doctor at least once a year, or twice a year. Make sure you go for checkups, chest checkups, breast checkups, do pap smears. All these things are very important, especially if you have weird symptoms. Yeah, so my story is more of a scare, a cancer scare, and it was not a good feeling. Sometimes I really feel for those who are going through oh my God, the thought of having cancer is really scary, because I've had family members who have lost their lives because of cancer, and I saw what they went through, and it's such a traumatizing thing. So I had a scare. It happened to me once in life, and since then I don't take things for granted. I always try to ensure I go for, like, I try to ensure I listen to my body. So back in 2002, it was it was kitambo, like 2000, 2007 or 2004. Just when I was, oh yeah, when I cleared my high school, I started feeling like I have a lump on my chest, on one side of my breast, and I didn't take it serious. I just, when you're young and you're in the process of growing, you're still a teenager or you're going through puberty, things like that, you just don't think too much of things that happen to your body, because there's so many changes that happen to your body. So every time I touched myself, I used to feel a lump, and it was just below my breast, and it was a very hard mass. So I used to feel uncomfortable, but I didn't take much interest about it. I chose to ignore it. Who wants to think the worst of anything? I was young and it really didn't matter. I didn't even tell anyone. I didn't tell my sister. I didn't tell my mom. Nothing. I didn't do anything about it. So years went by, like 2 or 3 years later, but I still felt the lump. And this time, when I touched it, I felt a bit of pain. Not actually, it wasn't pain. It was like a discomfort. So every time I showered, I felt like sometimes it moved from down here to sideways, and sometimes when I like shower or I'm scrubbing my body, sometimes I just never felt it. So to me, I thought it was something normal. Well, so 2 years, 3 years later, I said, I thought maybe there's something wrong. So I told my friend from college to take me to the main hospital in Nakuru, because back then I was in Nakuru. I told her to take me to hospital for checkup, because I mentioned it to her and she was like, Rispa, that sounds bad. Because we are taught as girls, if you feel a lump on your chest, on your breast, it might not be a good sign, especially when you're not in your periods, or when you're not like, when there's that period when you're about to have periods, and before, we usually have our breasts usually have some, not really lumps, but if you feel your breast during that time, we tend to have there's some masses that form in the breast and cause them to be very, is it stiff or what? That's why we feel some sort of discomfort before we get our periods. So she said, this is not normal. How long have you had this? I told her it's been like I've had this thing for the past 2-3 years. So she said, no way, let's go to hospital. So we headed to the general hospital, and when we got to the gate, I said, you know what, I'm not really sure if I want to do it. I'm not ready psychologically to be told something funny. She said, no, there's nothing wrong. If there's anything wrong, it can't be serious. So it's better we just go, you get checked, and then we stop all these speculations. At least we'll have a way forward on what is really happening to you. So we went there, and unfortunately, oh sorry, there's someone calling. Yeah, so we went to the hospital, and when we got to the station where these checkups are done, we got a very long queue. And so I stood there and I felt uncomfortable, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, do we really have to wait for all these people to get checked and then for us to get checked? So I gave up. I told her, let's go back home. I promise I'll tell my mom, and then we can go to another hospital where I don't have to queue for a long time. So she was very hesitant, but I convinced her, because I told her, in fact, I want to go home and tell my mom, and then I'm sure she'll take me to a hospital where we don't have to queue, or a specialized, hospital. It doesn't have to be, because as we went to a general hospital. So she agreed, and we left. Imagine, when I went home, I didn't tell my mom. I got scared. Neither did I tell my sister. I just kept quiet. I didn't talk I didn't say anything about it. I got scared because my friend started talking about cancer and all. So I said, no, I won't talk about it. And I've come to learn something so weird about me. When I have a scare or when I feel uncomfortable about something, I tend to keep it to myself, regardless of how serious it is. I keep it to myself and I don't talk about it. Even if it's an emergency, I just find my own ways of dealing with it. And by the way, that's not a good thing. Please, it's good to seek advice. It's good to open up to your parents, to your sisters, to your best friends. It's always good to do that, because some of the things that happen to our life, we might not have answers for them, but if we tell other people, they are in a better place to advise. You never know. You might get your answer from a friend or anywhere else. So I'm trying to change and not be so private and secretive about my personal stuff, but I happen to be like that. I don't like to share some things. I do things by myself. And if anything, if you give me a reason to not to open up, it's even worse. I won't even share. So yeah, I kept quiet, and guess what? I stayed again for over 5 years. Imagine. I finished college. I finished my diploma. I started my degree course, and I finished. Oh my God, it was such a long time. I even started working, and then I joined another company. I did my first job 2 years. Then when I joined this other company, luckily they had insurance. And I don't know, one day I was just seated in the office and I didn't have much to do. I remember it was a Friday afternoon, and my friend was sitting opposite me, and I told her, instead of sitting here and we have insurance, why don't we go and get checked, like do a full body checkup? She said, where did that come from? She asked me. I told her, there's something I've always wanted to get checked on, but I've never really bothered. But it's not really about that. I don't take it seriously. I've had it for so many years, and I've never had anything serious happen to me. So I don't think it's anything bad. It's only that because we have insurance, I just want to make sure I'm okay. Like, body-wise, I'm fine. So she said, well, yeah, sounds like a good idea. She told me she has a meeting, and she wanted to go for the meeting first before we go for the checkups. So she went for the meeting, and an hour later, she came back. And when she came back, we went. We actually didn't go to a hospital. We went to a healthcare center. It's called Savannah. They have many branches, but we went to the one next to the building where we used to work. So we went there and sat, and when it came to my turn, when I went to my doctor, imagine I didn't even mention anything about the lump. I was telling her how I suffer from, I've had digestive issues for a very long time. My tummy, I have a very sensitive tummy. Every time I eat, I just feel stuffed. I feel pain. I feel so much discomfort. I have so much gas, and that was my main problem. So I told her about it. I told her about because when you go for a full body checkup, they ask you questions, many questions in general, just to know what they can focus on. So yeah, I told her about my tummy, which was my main issue. And then I remember I told her about I had headaches and a back pain. So she said, okay, no problem. What we'll do, I'll write down all these things that you've told me, and you go for checkup, come back, I review, and then after that, we make a conclusive solution or idea. Feeling a bit cold. Imagine the way it looks warm. It's cold. Let me cover myself. Yeah, so she wrote for me many checkups. She wrote for me a chest checkup, stomach checkup, back checkup. What else? About the headache, she said it could be caused by my tummy or my eyesight, but they weren't doing eye checkup, so she didn't write that down. And then she said, because you are a lady, you also have to do breast checkup. I just, for some reason, my heart sank because I knew there was a problem, but I just never bothered to talk about it. I just didn't want to face what the problem could be. So she wrote all these things down and I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. She asked me if I would like to do pap smear. I said no. So she wrote those specific ones down, and then she also wrote a blood, what is it called? Blood test? Yeah. She also wrote for me a blood test. So I went, first did a blood test. Of course, they took my weight. I was put on the machine and they took my weight, checked my pressure, all these things. And then I was done for, what did they do for the back pain? No, I wasn't done anything for back pain. She said my back pain could also be caused by many things, including my sitting posture, the kind of mattress I used to sleep. She also asked me how much I like if I do any exercise, and then she told me it could be because of my tummy. Surprisingly, you guys, she said there are people who have so much weight because their body mass index, body mass index has to balance with your height and whatever, all those things. So she said some people have so much weight in the tummy and in the bust to a point they strain the back. So she said that could also be the problem. So she advised me to walk and jog and lose weight, and it could help. Change my sitting position, change my look at my is my mattress okay? Is it sink? Does it sink? Do I need an orthopedic mattress? It could. She said all these things could really help, and surprisingly they did, especially when I started taking long walks and I changed my mattress into an orthopedic mattress. So the time came for me to be done for breast checkup. I was taken to a very private room. I took off my clothes and the nurse started to check me. And she checked my left breast. She was okay. When she started checking my right, I noticed she started looking at me with concern. So I told her, I asked her, why are you looking concerned? She said, have you ever had a lump on your breast? I told her, yeah, I've had it, but I've had it for so many years, I've never had issues with it. She said, Rispa, you cannot say that. How long have you had this lump? I told her for over 6-7 years. Wow, she looked really concerned. So I asked her, why do you seem like shocked? Is there anything wrong? Do I need to clarify something? Oh, it's called a mammogram, that machine they use to check your breast. She kept checking and she said, I see 3 lumps in your breast and I'm really concerned about this. So I got so scared. I knew something was wrong and I started crying. I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't help myself because I thought to myself, like, why is she looking shocked? Is it wrong to have lumps? And if I have all these lumps, is it severe? So she asked me, do you feel pain? No. But do you feel the lumps when you shower, when you check yourself? I said, yeah, I check myself and I feel the lump. But because I don't feel pain, I don't take, really, I've never done anything about it. She said, this is bad. So she wrote down, gave specifications of what she had seen, and I went back to the doctor. When I went back to the doctor reviewed everything. She said everything seems to be okay. The stomach issue, really, what you need to do is just make sure you exercise, get rid of starchy food, processed foods, and you should be fine. She even told me to stop taking milk and watch myself, because maybe I could be lactose intolerant. She said it could be gluten, could be affecting you. And I listened. I said, okay, fine, yeah, maybe that's the reason. I did it for a month, 2 months. I was okay. I forgot. I started eating the same things and drinking milk. And imagine, I don't know why I just never take these things serious. But if you have watched my videos, I'm now in I'm now in a state of, I'm more cognizant of such things, and I don't brush them off. Now I'm really trying to, like, live a healthy life, If you watch most of my videos, that's what I talk about a lot. And yeah, so she told me about that. I did what she said, and my tummy felt better. It's only that afterwards I started to be a bit reluctant, and unfortunately to date I've been having the same issues. It's only that I have changed and I'm seeing better results again. So when she got to the breasts, she was so concerned. She couldn't believe I had 3 masses. She asked me questions, I answered. And first thing she said, tomorrow please report to Aga Khan, make sure you get checked. She said, there's a reason why I'm asking you to go to Aga Khan. They have good personnel there who will better assist, because the center, the place, the healthcare center where I went to is just a place for consultation. They give you advice and that's it, because they don't have better equipment and all these knowledgeable, not really knowledgeable doctors, but like doctors who are more into such stuff. So I went to the to the cancer center, and I actually went the next day. That Friday I was feeling so uncomfortable. The friend who I went with there, I don't know what happened, but she left me there. I actually remember asking her not to leave me, but she was very hesitant and she left me. I have never understood why she left me there. It was weird, because I was crying and I was helpless, but she left. So anyway, it was in the evening. I was very scared. I was shocked. That day I took my bag from the office, and as I was leaving, I remember I saw my friend on the road and another colleague of mine, and I wanted to call her and tell her, but I held back because I was very sad and confused. So anyway, yeah, so I didn't tell her anything. That day I went for Kesha, because I knew I couldn't sleep. I went to the house and my sister was like, Kesha, why did you decide to go to Kesha? I said, no, I just want to go for Kesha. So I went, and that night, because I was with another friend of mine, I slept at her house. I even didn't tell her. So I called my friend, the one we were being done for checkup together, and I told her I need someone to take me to Aga Khan for support because I'm feeling scared. Imagine, she told me she's busy, she's going to church. Look at that lady. So I said, because she's the only one who knows about it, she's the only one I asked. So she told me she was busy. I said, she was going to church. I said, okay. And again, it's reasonable enough. So I went to Aga Khan. I got to Aga Khan. I sat at the center, and right before I went in, I called a friend of mine from Eldoret, and I told her, and she said, "There's nothing to be scared about. You'll just go get checked. They'll advise you what to do, and then from there you see what next. It's nothing serious." She said, "Cancer doesn't just happen. You could be having lumps, but they're benign. They're not cancerous." So when she said that, I felt a bit better. I went there at the center. When I went and I asked, they said, they told me to wait. No, I can't remember what I was told. I can't remember, but I just know I walked away and I left again. But this time I just knew, I just kept remembering the nurse, how she reacted, and the doctor, and I just knew it was serious. So on Monday, I went to Nairobi Hospital. And when I went to Nairobi Hospital, I was referred to a specific doctor. No, at Aga Khan, there's the one I spoke to there gave me a contact person of a doctor. Yeah, she said the doctor is not in today, but I feel like this doctor is better placed to treat you. So make sure you call him. He's usually at the Doctor's Plaza in Upper Hill. I called him Monday, and when I called him on Monday, he asked me over. When I went there, he said, I must go for checkups again for confirmation. So I was checked again, 3 masses. But this time, I don't know what they do. He just told me he doesn't understand why 2 of these lumps are not hard. They have liquid in them. I don't know how they tell these things, but he told me that. And he was very concerned. He even asked me, "You have never felt pain?" Yeah, I said, "No, I've never felt pain. I've never felt any discomfort." He said, "Hi, are you lying? Because it's very abnormal to have 3 lumps and you don't feel anything." I said, "No, I've not. I never felt anything." So he said, he asked me when last I had my periods. I told him, and he said, "Okay, maybe you're having these lumps. Maybe they look that the 2 of them which are liquidish or just weird in nature, these masses could be because of your periods. Go for 2 weeks and then come back." So I went for 2 weeks. So I think he was counting. He counted the time when I had my periods, and that week and another week, and then he counted that week and another week just to make sure it has nothing to do with periods. So I went for 2 weeks and I came back. I was done another test, and it showed I had 3 masses, 2 had liquids, and 1 was just a very hard mass. So yeah, when he saw that, he said, "This is an emergency surgery. We have to do an emergency surgery and get them out and test them." Imagine all this time I didn't tell anyone. I came back home, relaxed, and I waited. That day I had gone for test on Wednesday. He said we have to do an emergency surgery on Friday. So on Thursday I was thinking, what do I do? I was quiet. Thursday evening, I told my sister, I need someone to drive me to Nairobi Hospital. Why? I'm being done for surgery. Everyone was shocked, even my brother. What? Surgery? Ya nini? Wewe ama nani mwingine? Mimi nafanyiwa surgery. Wapi? Nitawaambia. You take me. So because at the time my sister didn't know, like she knew how to drive, but she was scared of driving in Nairobi. So my brother's best friend is the one who came and drove me very early in the morning. By 6 I was there. I remember even that Wednesday, because I was so shocked that I have to be done for an emergency surgery. I remember I, I really messed up a client. They were to put an advert in the newspaper. That's my profession. I manage accounts, different accounts, sales, and these accounts, when they want to market their brand in the product which I sell, I'm the one who assists. So anyway, that client, I messed him because I was even so shocked. I forgot about it. So Friday I got to hospital, was done for surgery. They got out they removed I still have a very big scar, by the way. They removed the masses, the lumps, and yeah. So after they removed them, just when you think it's over, the doctor comes and tells you, you know what, now we have 1 more week to check, to test this these masses, and just make sure that they're not cancerous. If they are, then we take another step. Oh my God, you guys. Oh, it's such a bad feeling. It was a long week. It was the longest wait ever. So I was done for my surgery. Once they finished everything, I was released. I didn't even sleep in hospital. I was released. I was given medication. 1 week later, I came back. They removed the stitch and gave me the results. God is faithful, you guys. The lumps were benign. They were not cancerous. The doctor took a good look at me. I remember he looked at me for I don't know how many minutes, and he was just breathing heavily, saying, Rispa, you can never do this. Do not ever be this ignorant about your health. You cannot be walking around with a mass in your breast for years and not bother to do something about it. He said, if these lumps would have stayed in my body for more years, it would have been bad. I mean, it was a lesson for me. It was the first time this happened to me. So as much as I was in shock, I was happy, but I learned a lot that time. So he asked me if I had been taking contraceptives. I said no. He asked me if I smoke, if I do all this thing. I said no. So he said I should stop taking red meat, stop taking, what else? Yeah, meat. He just advised me to live a healthy lifestyle because he just doesn't understand how I had these lumps. And I learned a lot that time. When every October, I look back and I thank God. And I think about other women who might be in the same situation as me and are ignoring, or they feel like if they go to hospital, they have to pay money which they don't have. Or there's so many reasons why someone could be putting off the idea of going for checkups. So it could be anything. And this time of the year, I always think about it. I always take time to, just be so grateful that my situation was a bad situation that didn't go bad, but that turned out, luckily, it didn't turn out to be a fatal situation. Again, I also think about people who have breast cancer, people who have gone through surgeries, people who have gone through chemo, and I feel so sad about it. And so this is my story, but the most important thing that I want, like the take home of this story, is please always listen to your body. Please, men and women, whoever you are, wherever you are, make sure you listen to your body. Our body communicates to us. Any discomfort, any weird thing in your body, bleeding, just funny things, do not take them for granted. It is not a joke. It is something worth looking or checking just to be safe. Make sure you do something about it. For most ladies, even men, remember every October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And by the way, there are so many places that give free checkup. Please go and get checked. And even when you shower, make sure you check your body. Just check your body. Touch your body. Make sure everything is okay. Because these things are real. And unfortunately, they don't choose. It could happen to anyone, including you. It happened to me. I never imagined ever in my wildest dreams something like this would happen to me. But it did. I'm lucky it was not cancerous. If it was, I pray that God would have given me strength to go through it. But imagine this is something I would have avoided. Or, I just get scared thinking about it. So please remember to always do body checkups. Listen to your body. Make sure anything weird in your body, you make sure it has, you make sure that, just make sure you see a doctor. Do something about it. Do not ignore. If you're a lady or a gentleman watching me right now, the month of October is still going on. Please find a place, go for checkup. If you're covered, go and do a full body checkup, including your breast, just to be safe and to be healthy. Yeah, that is my story, and I hope someone somewhere will listen and learn and do something. Yeah, that is it for now. Again, please, if this is your first time, subscribe, like, share, and I will be so happy to see our community grow as time goes by. Yeah, and remember to always put God first in everything, and all other things shall go according to God's will. That is it for now. Bye. I love you.